go over. Otra vez. One, two. Hi, everyone, and welcome to The Girl with an Accent. And this is our first episode. My name is Maria, the girl with an accent, and
I'm Julissa, the girl with the other accent.
the girl with the exotic accent. There you go. All right. Well, I wish I could say that we are experts on this, but we're not. We are learning as we go. So you guys get to see our nervousness unfold as we get comfortable speaking to you through a camera and just being and creating the space that we decided to put together. Um, for the first episode, I wanted to talk a little bit about why the girl with an accent and how we came to be. So I will start and share a little bit about myself. My name is Maria, and I'm gonna introduce myself with my birth name, which is Maria Danae Rodriguez Moro. Mucho gusto. And your name?
Mi nombre es Julissa Angélica Ortiz Salazar.
Oh, look at that! Look at that. The girl with an accent for me is way much more than having an accent due to the language difference. It's about identity. It's about who we are, who we used to be, and who we had to become to evolve and to grow as immigrants. I came to this country when I was 14 years old. I was very young, and I did have to undergo like an adaptation process where I did lose a lot of my roots. And now, as an adult, I find how important it is to bring those roots back into my life because it's not that they were forgotten, they were kind of put away so that I was able to survive in an environment that was very different than what it used to be when I used to be in Mexico. So, for that, I did have to recreate myself and become someone new. And the girl with an accent, pretty much was born then because I did have to learn a new language. I had to learn a new way of living. And throughout my journey in my personal and professional and as a mom, I have come to see how different we are. Have you experienced that? Like, do you want to talk a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I have the similar situation. Uh, we are not just moms. We are not just like having your business or working for someone or a sister or a daughter. You have your own personality. So when you come here, it's like, what happened to that person that I was there? I love Queen, I love rock en español, and I love all that. So coming here, it was an adaptation too. I came as a young adult with a daughter, and we have to adapt. I have to learn a new language. I was afraid to go to the store because I didn't know how to get things, how to ask for things. So it is a big shock. It's a big change. And like you say, you put aside what you are. Why? Because you have to adapt and you have to fit in. And that's what we did. We're just trying to fit in, and this is part of the culture. Let's do that. We have to put away what we are for a little bit.
That's true. That is very true. That's what it is because we start getting into a survival space where that's what you do. We're just surviving. We're going along with the flow of what is presented to us. And I do want to talk about something that I come across often, and I'm pretty sure you do as well. And it's when people, I don't want to say they mock or they make fun, but they emphasize the way you speak. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not like necessarily coming from a bad space. But I do want to dive a little bit into why sometimes is a little bit too personal for us when it is tapped on, because it has happened to me. And I do want to say, and this is more for awareness, because when someone reacts to you, mocking or laughing or making just even like a cute note about someone else's accent, you're tapping more deeper than just the accent itself. You're tapping into our ability to perform and to speak in two different languages. And for me in particular, there was comments when I was younger that people would make about my accent that kind of like labeled me and did create some sort of a sense of insecurity for me when I was in a professional environment because it was always in the back of my mind that I had an accent and that people thought that I wouldn't be successful for having an accent, right? And it takes a while for you to embrace yourself in that manner. So it becomes more personal because it's not really about the accent itself. It's about the sacrifices, about the stories that are behind. I mean, I don't know if it happens to you. I'm pretty sure it happens to everybody, but you guys were thinking in Spanish,
Yeah.
speaking in English.
Yeah, even my one of my daughters asked me one time, when you think, mom, or dream, on what language you do it? I'm like, I don't know. So yeah, some people come from a good point, like they want to correct you, they care about you, they want you to be like better when you're talking, right? Other people are not like that, and sometimes another language is always you're not intelligent, you're not smart because you don't speak English. That's not true. A lot of, and I'm talking all over the world. There's professionals coming here from all over the world that might have a bigger, like, time going to school and knowing more than some people here. And they're not dumb or is for not speaking English. It's just we were raised with a different language. We roll our R's. And here you have to move the tongue differently.
Oh my God, girl.
Yeah.
I still struggle with the
Girl. Yeah.
world, Walmart.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I go back to how this is more than just speaking differently. It's really about our identity and what we became when we came to a different country, and not just a country. We're talking about accents. Accents are universal. They're about community, town, state. Accents are all over the place. So it's not just for us that are immigrants or that are coming from another country. It's really just everywhere. So it's much more than that. It's really identity rooted. And the girl with an accent actually is coming from a space of finding and reconnecting myself with my roots and who I used to be before I came into this country. And it took me a long time to discover that there is this character that we all create when we come from a different place and we readapt, right? And we were discussing earlier how we become part of nowhere and we're kind of like lingering in the limbo of being ni de aquí ni de allá, because our identity was reframed differently.
Yeah, it was like a cultural shock completely. Like I said, and I was talking to you earlier, you come here and you miss home. But then you came here and you became part of this community. This is your home now. Then you go back to wherever you're from, and then you're missing this home. So it's like, can I get the best of both worlds? Maybe go in the middle. And I think that's what a lot of families are doing this. Like, they're still making the posadas. They're celebrating the quinceañeras. The weddings are like different. They put the apron on the guy just to play with him. So I think all of us are trying to bring back what we are.
Our traditions, our culture,
Yeah, because
what our
it was
ancestors.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I miss the posadas.
Oh, I do too.
Breaking the piñata. I miss that. And we don't have it here.
No, it's very different.
The weather is not.
The weather is not permitted, depending on the weather.
Yeah. And so it's not just like you said about the accent, it's about reconnecting to what we are.
Yes.
What we like made us happy. Going back to that comfort space. Like, I remember just being at my parents' house. It was in the middle of nowhere, close to the city, but I could see the cricket. I could hear the crickets. I could see the stars. And it's a really good memory.
Yeah.
And I go back and it's not there anymore because there's more houses, more people. And then you are like, this was so beautiful. But at that time, you didn't think about that
No.
being so beautiful.
Yeah.
So it's reconnect, finding the roots, reconnect with what we are. I think is not just the accent; it's more than that.
Yeah, it's way much more than that. And, I think we all go through it differently depending on our experiences and our backgrounds. Then we have the generations such as myself and the generations after myself that came at such a young age where you weren't truly rooted into what you had back in your country, not because you didn't understand it, but because you were actually young and you didn't grasp what you had around you. But then your family is divided. In my case, because I was so young and I readapted to the way of living here, I did lose a lot of myself in that process. It is a trauma effect because for me it was like a depressive state and I just had to like learn to adapt to something very different. But I even lost my taste in music and the things that I used to enjoy when I was in Mexico, when I was in school, that now I started to recognize that I did go through a process where I couldn't listen to it because it was hurtful for me to listen to it because it would remind me of my siblings, of my extended family that was there. Like you said, like life in our country, more in particular for us, and I think for everyone, is different again because we come from different backgrounds. But spending that time with your family, going to your uncle's houses, running in the street on the street free, like staying out with your friends for until 10 p.m. until like your parents will call you at the window to go back inside the house. Like everything is just very different.
Yeah.
I myself haven't had the opportunity to go back to Mexico really because I haven't made it a priority, but it is something that I can start to see the urgency for me to see because it is a whole part of me that was missing. So when I sit down and I created The Girl with an Accent, it started with, I'm really not that different because I speak differently. But then I did want to understand that it is much more. And I am different because of everything that we come with, right? It's like we are two people in one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have to identify.
Yes, we have to identify.
Which one do you want?
Yes. And
Yang.
so then it's like, like reverting back to those, to our roots. It even comes with our clothing and the way that we dress, right?
Yeah.
I remember very vividly because I've always been very grateful in the way that I dress. But I remember Mexico and how colorful like the clothing was and how um, original, that's the right word, it used to be to walk in the streets and like it was a different feeling even in the clothing that represents us. And I don't know how you feel about that, but that is also another thing that for me, when we look at the folklore, when I look at the mariachis, when I look at community events and I see the colorfulness of our country, it also goes deeper than.
Yeah, like for me, the experience was like I used to dance in school.
Okay.
And danza folclórica.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, so I was always wearing the outfits. The one that I love the most is the outfit from Veracruz.
Okay.
Is the white dress with the black apron, all these flowers, and a big skirt. It was really beautiful. They fix your hair with that thing on the head, and but one of the other ones that I love is the huipil. Why? Because my mom is from Oaxaca, and that's one of the main dresses. And every time I go back, I try to get more something that is gonna show our culture because we put those clothes away. When I was living in Mexico, I will never wear a huipil when I was younger. Why? Because you didn't feel, not that you didn't feel that pride, but it was more like we're getting the influences from Europe, from the United States, and you want to be
The
like
shame, you want to fit in.
Yeah, you want to fit in again. And I forgot about that. I just did it when I was dancing. But now that I go back and I see the beautiful, how they work with their hands, and it's something that no one can compare to something made by a machine, you know. And I'm trying to bring that back, and I'm glad to say that my daughters are like trying to do the same. And bringing that is just bringing us back,
Yeah,
trying
because
to get back
it's
what we
part of
lost.
us.
It
It's part of
is.
us. It's part of like our ancestral history, right?
Yeah.
So that brings me to a suggestion to the audience out there. Like, I think it would be a good idea to bring that part of our culture into these segments that we're creating for all of you. And I mean, what are your suggestions? I think that we are in such a great space right now to create something very meaningful in this space for the girl with an accent. That we would like to hear your suggestions on how you guys would think would be a good idea for us to dress to represent not only ourselves but our communities, and to have some way of connection that is a little different than just talking and communicating about different topics. I do want the space to become something similar to what we're missing, which is that middle point that we can call home, even though that we're not really home. Because but we are. We are not, but we are. So we're kind of like creating a little meeting point for all of us to kind of like gather together and talk about the different things that we went through. I mean, growing up for me in Mexico, and I don't know for you, but I know you went to school in Mexico, and so did I. When I came to the United States and they took me to high school, I felt like I was trapped. I felt like I was going to prison because the schools in Mexico are so different.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm speaking, I don't know, I think they're still the same, right? Right now.
At some point, I think they're getting standard with the rest of the world. Why? Because this is happening. Immigration is happening, not just here. It's happening everywhere. So I think the whole world is trying to adapt to make it easy for those kids going to that country, going to that state, to help them to be successful. I think it's more even now. But when I came here, I went to college there. But then you have the barrier of the language, you have the barrier of the culture, you don't know anything. And I didn't know how to go to school here. How do I transfer credits? How do I register for classes? I didn't know that. So it was hard, and I learned with my kids, and I made mistakes with my kids because I didn't know. So I can understand you, like where you're coming from. Even though you were little, it's like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's a cultural shock.
The school is not the same. They don't give us the el recreo like over there.
You don't go outside. You can't breathe the fresh air. Yeah, it's very different. And I think you actually touched on something very important, which is what we carried as parents. I came in very young. You came in with a daughter. But my parents didn't know what I needed. So and I'm pretty sure this is going to be a relatable topic for everyone, I had to become sort of like the parent to assist my parents in a whole new culture.
And it happened a lot.
And it happened a lot because then it started to where I was the only one who spoke English when I learned it. When I went,
the official
I became the official translator of the family after I went through my very intensive course of Inglés y Barreras. But it's that there's all these things that happen when you come at such a young age, that even for myself, that I grew up practically here. Raising my kids, I didn't know a lot of things to guide them properly because nobody taught me.
You didn't know.
And realistically speaking, unless you know where the resources are, you're not going to find them. And sometimes having conversation with colleagues or other people that are not that don't share my background, they're like, "What do you mean? You guys have the same access." but we don't. The reality is that we do experience so many things that are so different. And again, I go back to saying, like, it's not really just the accent, it's just that we were shaped differently. Our life is very different. So, this is why we're here. And this is what the intent of the Girl with an Accent is, for you guys to get to know a little bit more of what happened in those transition moments. And perhaps this would be a good space to help and to bring and raise awareness to all of you out there. And hopefully that we have the ability to provide some resources for people who are going through the same experiences, and so that they don't feel so alone. I don't think when I was younger I felt that I needed the help, but now that I look back, I did needed the help. I needed the guidance. I needed the assistance, and I never got it. So I think for me, I don't know what it is for you, but I feel that this space is really going to open the door for a lot of information to come through, not just stories.
Yeah, and it could be like a channel to provide information to help the people come in, or to help the people that is been here and they still don't know what to do. I found a lot of people along the way that helped me, and when I work at this place, I learned so many things, and it's when I was able finally to say, wow, I can do this, I can do that. But I was getting all that training that not everybody gets. So, and I'm always able to share. I think I was born to be a server, and I always try, like, what are you missing? Where do you want to go? That. I did this, I did that, and I share the information. Not everybody does, unfortunately. You can find those people
Setbacks on
but
the
at the
way.
same time, you're gonna find a lot of good people that is gonna give you the path to make it easier for you. And I think even the institutions for the Mexican government, I think they're like stepping up. There's a lot of community resources that maybe we can find out
Yeah.
about.
So this is what it is. It's really a space for all of you and for us to connect, and hopefully, throw out some wisdom and some guidance out there. Again, it's not just about speaking differently. It's really about everything that makes us. And this is what makes the first episode. I just wanted you guys to know a little bit of our why and why we're here. Julissa and I met in a very weird space, and not unexpected, not weird. It was a very unexpected way.
Yeah.
But I remember, after a conversation I had with her, and I brought it up to her. Oh my God, I want to do this. And she's like, do it.
Yeah,
Let's do it. And I was like, do you want to do it with me? Because of that. Because I see the value in her as much as I see it in other people, but I think that this collaboration is really going to be community focused. We are here for you, and we want to bring the best for it for you, not only culturally, but in every way that we can provide guidance to you guys, even if it's through our professions, providing guidance in things that we know, professionally, personally, and in every aspect that we can provide some guidance. So let's, give us a good welcome vibe our way, so that we can, make this grow and hopefully make this a space where you want to be part of, and that you can follow us and support us in our mission to be here for you and to be of your support and your guidance. So come get to know us, meet us, get to know our stories, and share yours as well.
And remember, hablamos español, so
Somos bilingües.
or maybe trilingual.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
We speak 3 languages: Spanish, English, and Spanglish.
Correct. See, 3 languages. We got you.
Yeah, well, thank you guys. This was the first episode, and hopefully we see you next week on the second episode of The Girl with an Accent. Bye.
Bye.